Alright, welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today we're going to go over a good old division rivalry between the New Orleans Saints and Carolina Panthers. Jameis Winston versus Sam Darnold, two guys that could make the case for comeback player of the year. We think Jameis might have the edge over him in that, but a lot of season left to play, a game to go, just in week 2 to see who's on top in this division rivalry. And I'm going to be getting into the breakdown, the matchup, the prediction, the projection, everything you need and want to know for this game. But I got to hear from you guys. What is your score prediction? Comment down below. You think it's a shootout, a blowout, one-score game, upset, whatever it is. Comment down below, and I'll give my prediction at the end and see how we match up. But like I said, these two guys I feel like are at least in the conversation for they could be a comeback player of the year candidate. Jameis Winston, he's got a little more to come back from than Sam Darnold. Jameis Winston went to full-time backup, and now he's in a brand new system and a brand new role. And he's got a pretty good kickoff to his resume if he is looking for that comeback player of the year case. It's really early on. It's such a small sample size to say that. But if you want to make that case, that's how you do it. 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. 148 yards isn't the greatest, but he got the job done. He pulled off the upset. He beat Aaron Rodgers. And Sam Darnold, he did pretty efficient. 279 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Pretty good kickstarts for both of these guys trying to make a name for themselves again. Again, complete different situations, but looking at these two teams, we could even check the odds of this game to see who's favored. There you go. You see the countdown. Give me one moment. Personally, being in Carolina does have a factor, but I don't think it'll control everything. The Saints are favored, home field advantage or not. Clearly, Saints are favored -3.5. Percentage to win, Saints favored 64% to 36%. Carolina. So a little bit of an underdog entering their home field, but still, if we look at the matchup, if we break it down, quarterback, pick your poison. Who do you want? To me, it's a toss-up. If you're a Saints fan, you're going to take Jameis over Darnold. If you're a Panthers fan, you're going to take Darnold over Winston. Neither are perfect. They both got their issues, so I'm really just going to leave that up to you guys who you want as the better QB in this matchup. Looking at the run game, looking at the backfield, this is another one you could argue for Kamara, but I think we all know McCaffrey is the, lo and behold, best running back in the league, either first or second best, him or Derrick Henry. And he rebounded. He might be winning comeback player of the year, and he might be stealing it from both of these guys for all we know. But no disrespect to Alvin Kamara. He is a great back. Offensive line, got to give that to the Saints all day. They got 2 great tackles, and the Panthers don't have the greatest protection by any means. Now, receiving room, I'm going to give it to the Carolina Panthers. I think they got a pretty stellar receiving room, at least in my opinion. Robbie Anderson and Sam Darnold got a pretty good chemistry. As you see, they kicked off in week 1 with 2 touchdowns, and then they had good chemistry when they were on the Jets together. DJ Moore is looking good. Terrace Marshall's got potential. They got a good receiving room. The Saints, they got an unhealthy receiving room. I like what they possibly have in Marquez Callaway, or we saw Jawan Johnson take off last week, but still, until Michael Thomas comes back, it's still an odd feeling and a question mark how that receiving room is. If you look just at the box score of Jameis Winston throwing 5 touchdowns, you'd say, oh, they got to have some ballers, but that's not really the case. It was just, I don't want to say it was a fluke game, but it was a weird game to really judge everything off of that, at least. So on offense, I'd say the Saints might have the better quarterback and the better offensive line, but the Panthers have a running back that's better and the better receivers. But with the quarterback not far behind, Jameis and the Saints don't have a running back far behind from McCaffrey. Looking at the defense, this is where things get a little shaky, in my opinion, as far as who's better where. Looking at the secondaries, depending how the young guys do for the Panthers, as in Jeremy Chin, Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn, the guys that have only got a few years in the league, they're really, really young. That's really going to determine it for me, how they do. I think they have more potential, but the Saints have, they're proven players. Malcolm Jenkins, they traded for Bradley Roby, they extended Marshawn Lattimore. Their secondary is proven, and we know that they could be pretty solid. But the Panthers, I think they got potential, but I just think they're really young to give a permanent label of how good they are, I should say. AJ Boye, I'm excited to see when he comes back. He won't be back for this game, but I do think he will bring some value to this team on the field. Linebacker core, Shaq Thompson, Demario Davis, kind of be the captains of both front sevens. Looking at the front fours, Cameron Jordan, Davenport, kind of being your A-plus guys after losing Trey Anderson. They still got talent on there, but Got to see how some of their rookies do. You know, they really went defensive heavy in the first few rounds of this draft. And the Panthers, I like what they got in getting Brian Burns and Derek Brown some help after they added Hassan Reddick. They traded away Denzel Perryman to the Raiders, but still, you see right there, Hassan Reddick had 2 sacks. It was against the Jets. But still, this is another kind of pick your poison thing. I think they both got pass rush. They both got potential. Saints, they really got to see how their younger guys in their front 7 step up to give them a label. And the same thing for the Panthers. They got to see how their younger guys in their secondary step up to give them a label. So this is a hurry up and wait thing. These are the type of games that you find out how good these guys are. I think it's going to be pretty cool. After this week, one of these teams are still going to be 2-0, still going to be fighting for the Bucs as the number 1 spot in the NFC South. Who the Bucs play this week? The Falcons. I doubt the Falcons upset them, but if they do, all of a sudden the Saints or Panthers could be leading the NFC South. I'm curious to see it. I think Saints and Panthers are both dark horse in the hunt, wild card type of teams. And I think some lock-in playoff teams, I would argue, is, I'm going to say Green Bay. I do think they'll turn around. Obviously, if week 2, if they crap the bed, then I'll be changing my mind. But until that happens continuously, I think Green Bay will be a playoff team. That's 1. The Bucs will be another. That's 2. The Rams will be another. That's 3. I think the Seahawks will be another. That's 4. Someone out of the NFC East have to make it. That's 5. And then your final spot's probably the Niners. That's 6. Your 7th spot is fought between the Saints, the Cardinals, the Vikings, the Panthers. And these 50-50 games are what really determines if you could get in that 7th spot or the wildcard spot. And I know anything can happen. I'm not saying the Niners have to make it or 100% will or the Seahawks 100% will, but just those likely odds, I do think these teams will be fighting in the hunt for the playoffs as in the wild cards because I do think the Bucs will own the division. But if one of these guys got to a 2-0 start, that's really what they could use if they want to try and make a playoff run and go into the postseason. Personally, I do think the Saints will edge out the Panthers of this game. I think it'll be a good game, division rivalry, both young, new teams in some aspects. Sean Payton's just got a lot more experience on Matt Rule. I like Matt Rule, but again, it's Sean Payton. I think the Saints will edge them out. And I'm going to say a 28-20 victory, New Orleans Saints. I think the Panthers, it just didn't look tier 1 like against the Jets, against a bad team. And I am concerned now that they're going to be playing Jameis Winston and the Saints team that is much more well-rounded and much better than that Jets team, at least in my opinion. But anything could change. If the Panthers come out and win this, I won't be shocked. You got Weapon X and McCaffrey. He could carry this team alone. So we'll just have to see. As always, and of course, you guys tell me, comment down below your score prediction like I asked in the beginning of the video, and we'll see how we match up. Thanks for watching, guys.